The major reason and the main component why Nelson Chamisa and his movement for democratic change, which they now call an alliance, is behaving in the manner that they are behaving in terms of causing unnecessary and unfruitful demonstrations, is that they realize that he's very isolated. He has no basis, he has no grounding, he has no foundation to appeal to the international community. And they've on record shown it in official statements from even world leaders within the region that they don't believe in this young man. Yes, he may have gone to university, but he skipped some pages in law school. And this is very evident. He has no hope for the people of this nation. He has no future to deliver to the young people that he claims to have an appeal for. And this is going to be an election that he will wake up in his bed with his boots on. People must understand that Nelson Chamisa has caught on a very dangerous syndrome, which is the Raila Odinga syndrome in Kenya. And that syndrome has potential to polarize a people, has a potential to polarize a nation. From a political analysis point of view, when people push agendas like the ones that Nelson Chamisa is pushing, where you are every day spewing hate speech, which is against the letter and spirit of the peace pledge that political parties signed to at the HICC, to conduct themselves in a dignified manner, to sell a message that will appeal and change the lives of the people. Raila Odinga in Kenya caused so much trouble, caused so much suffering, and even lives were lost.
A lot of those groups also point the finger at you and your party for your role, not just in the mass action, but in inflaming the situation. No Raila, no peace became a slogan across the country. Nearly a decade on, are you willing to take some responsibility for the death and destruction that happened in your country?
You see, you need to know that what happened in the country was all spontaneous. It was not planned.
Do you agree with Human Rights Watch, who said in January 2008, we have evidence that ODM politicians, your party, and local leaders actively fomented post-election violence in many communities? ODM mobilizers organized, directed, facilitated violence unleashed by gangs.
I totally disagree.
There's been no response generally from ZANU-PF nor its leader in terms of retaliation to the sentiments, to the provocations that are being pushed by Nelson Chamisa and his party. The interesting element in all this posturing by Nelson Chamisa is that at the end of the day, having tasted the sweetness of a government of national unity, he is now wanting a second coming of that establishment, of that status quo that existed in the previous years. And what he's literally doing is tantamount to the action of Mr. Bean, posting himself a Christmas card. And in this case, he's posting himself an invitation letter into the August House without the backing of the people, without the backing of credible international donor support.
It reminds me of the promise you made to party supporters in Chinhoyi, saying you're going to build a bullet train from Bulawayo to Harare. You said that under your tutelage, this infrastructure will allow people to travel from the one city to the other in 35 minutes. I mean, that is beyond nonsense. That's just complete Alice in Wonderland. I'm no transport expert, but it's more than 400 kilometres from Bulawayo to Harare.
Indeed.
What this train of yours, it's going to be travelling at 800 kilometres an hour. Which, by the way, the fastest maglev train in the whole world can't top much more than 400 kilometres an hour. So I don't know where you're finding your trains from.
What I must emphasize that I was emphasizing the point of modern transportation.
Zimbabweans surely want politicians who are serious, who tell them things, make promises that can be delivered. I mean, patently that promise cannot be delivered.
So in that case, the people of Zimbabwe have matured. The people of Zimbabwe know that there is actually, let me be blunt and open. It's good news coming. They want somebody who is mature, who is credible. Idi Mnangagwa, he's a man who has seen it all. Even in handling conflict, that he's a man who does not escalate conflict. You've seen it in the days of the G40, how he was attacked and even clapping hands at rallies, you know, where this interface, and he was being scolded left, right and center, but he never escalated violence. He has not denied what has happened in the past, but he has said our history is part of us, it informs us, it shapes us, but what we are now looking at is to deliver a Zimbabwe that everyone wants. Everyone is tired. People are tired and we want a switch. And the switch to power is ED. He's been in government, his experience is well known, and for the first time he was invited on an international platform in Davos. That's where the world seat of power is and where all world leaders will be. And that is an endorsement. It's a sign of confidence. And having so much liquid finance that is waiting in terms of foreign direct investment is something that is a show of confidence and an endorsement. And this is the changed man that people must really take time to consider. Take time to look at the credibility, the soundness, the concrete and the steadiness of a gentleman who does not escalate conflict but rebuilds, takes us all as Zimbabweans to the Zimbabwe we would want.